Let's take a look at the Dave Canterbury signature card. Dave Canterbury is a wilderness survival expert, best known for the TV show Dual Survival. He has a world-class survival school located in southern Ohio, the Pathfinder School. Like all the survival cards, the Dave Canterbury signature card is stainless steel and small enough to fit in a personal survival tin or in the credit card slot of your wallet. The back has a white backer, and if you take that off, that's a permanent adhesive side. So you can peel this off, stick this to something, and it's going to be attached when you need it. The cards also feature a tool retention system. So all these tools will come right off the card. So they're all going to be usable. And then when you're done with them, you can reattach them to the backer. Just give it a little press, and it's attached to the card until you need it next time. So when you take a look at Dave's card, you can see that this is a single purpose card. This is not really designed to be a survival card. Dave teaches the 10 C's of survivability. So he's going to assume that you're going to follow those principles, and you're going to have a knife and combustion and cover and cordage and containers with you. So a card like this is just going to augment that and let you stay out longer by catching fish. So when Dave focuses on fishing, he's pretty serious about it. This card features 24 hooks, as well as lures, hook connectors, and a line wrap built into the card. Let's start by taking a closer look at the 12 Panfish size hooks. So the first time you're taking out any of these hooks, you can see there's a small little metal tab that actually is holding it in the first time. And to break through that, you can just wiggle the hook, and it comes out. Now at this point, when you reattach it, it is only held in by the tool retention system. If you're only going to include fishing items on a survival card, they better be some pretty good fishing items, and this is. So in my opinion, this is about the perfect size hook for most of the fishing in my area. And Dave's class is about 3 hours south of me. So we're in similar areas. He's in a hillier part of the state. So it's pretty close, but not exact. For most of the small ponds and creeks that we would be fishing primarily with a survival card like this, you're going to be after bluegill, maybe crappie, rock bass, something like that. And this is a perfect size hook for this. It's barbed, but it's a sensible barb. It's a pretty small barb. And it does have an oversized eye in it, like most of the Grimm's hooks do. That's going to allow you to use non-standard fishing line, such as interstrands of paracord or natural fibers. There's also 6 jig head style hooks. So that jig head's going to do several things for you. It's going to add a little bit of weight to the hook, which is going to help you in casting. But primarily, this is going to help you make a bucktail jig. So I'm going to go over trapping and all the trapping components on all the cards in future videos. And I'm probably going to do the same thing with fishing as well. I'm going to show you options with some of these hooks. And a jig head like this, you can make a bucktail jig with natural found materials. You can probably even sacrifice some of your clothes for fibers to make a bucktail, as well as the super common paracord jigs. So this, with a couple pieces of different color paracord, is going to catch a lot of fish. So moving over to the center of the card, we can see we've got a couple spoons as well as a fishing lure. So the larger of the 2 spoons has Dave's signature on it, and this is just a flat spoon. There is nothing to induce a spin on this at all. It's just going to be a shiny attractant. And the smaller spoon, which I would say is a medium-sized spoon, this has got the Pathfinder logo on it. So if the spoons aren't working out for you, there is a lure as well. So this has par marks, which is the markings on a young fish, as well as gills and an eye. So these next 2 hooks, the double hooks, they're going to be used with the spoons or the lure. And that's going to attach with no tying whatsoever. So there's the hook off the card. And this U-shape allows your spoon or your lure just to slide on. So I'm just going to work that past the hook. And here you go. So we can see this is not quite a treble hook. It's flat, but this is going to definitely increase your chances of hooking a fish. So that same hook system works on the lure just as well as either size spoon. So these 2 items right here are hook connectors. So that allows you to attach any of your hooks to any of your spoons or your lure. So there's the hook connector off the card, and it's attached to one of the small panfish hooks. So I can slide one of my spoons on the other end of the connector and work it through. And there is a quick, easy connection that's very, very solid. So there's a closer look at that connection, and that is a pretty slick way to attach a hook to a spinner. So the last 4 hooks on the card are actually my favorite hooks. These are circle hooks. So of the 4 different sizes, the largest is just going to show up easier on camera. So a circle hook is my favorite hook for passive fishing. So these are very popular with cat fishermen. If you're using jug lines or limb lines, exactly like you would be doing in a survival situation to passively fish, this is going to be my absolute #1 hook of choice. So what a circle hook does is this essentially lets the fish catch itself. It sets its own hook. If I'm not actively fishing, either with a cane pole or a hand line, this is going to be my hook of choice. So the Dave Canterbury card is kind of refreshing. This is a purpose-driven card. So this does not try to cover 20 different bases and be an all-in-one survival card. This just focuses on fishing. I really like the circle hooks. The circle hooks are absolutely going to let me catch fish passively. I'm going to go into limb lines with these very quickly. The connectors, as well as these U-shaped double hooks, are going to work great with either of the 2 spoons or the lures. That's going to give me great flash in darker waters using a hand reel. And I have a ton of hooks on here. The jig heads is something that I can craft in the field. I can use whatever type of natural material I find. I can go to paracord really, really quick to give me a great fishing lure. And my standard is always going to be the small panfish size hooks. I'm going to be digging for worms, rigging up a cane pole, and that's my best chance in the areas that I frequent to catch fish. So if when you're in the woods you have a belt knife and you've got a ferro rod and you've got a haversack full of gear, maybe adding a card like this that's a single purpose-driven card might be a great idea. This is definitely going to help you catch fish and help you stay longer in the wild.